I was just thinking about how professional sounds like marshmallow, professional marshmallow. And so then I thought, well, why am I thinking this? Why am I getting this insight on my barefoot hike here? Barefoot, by the way. Barefoot. Barefoot focus. So a professional marshmallow, meaning do you conform? Do you melt? Do you burn based on what the world is attacking you with, based on what your situation or circumstances are? Are you someone who conforms to the reality that's in front of you or that's around you? Are you reactive? Are you reactionary? Are you reacting based on what you're seeing versus deliberately, intentionally creating what you want? So, someone's passing, 1 second. Hi, Aaron. Say a quick hi for me, guys, here. So, being a professional marshmallow is not an easy job. It's actually a hard job. It's hard work. It's hard work to be a professional marshmallow. You get beaten down. You get beaten down by the world. You get beaten down, and you feel like, oh, you have to fit every mold, every box that someone throws at you. When you're in personal relationships or professional relationships, you feel like you have to appease the person that you're with, or make sure that they're not set off, make sure that they're comfortable. If that's you guys, if you know someone who's a professional marshmallow, it's time for an intervention. You know, the practice that I've been on for about 17, 18 years now has taught me a lot about refusing to conform to the way the world is, because that's not me. It's a projection of people's view of themselves or their fears, insecurities, all that stuff. And I think my need to kind of separate myself from what was going on started really early for me. Maybe for you guys too. You guys can let me know. And what happened for me was this desire to understand, as Maslow taught the hierarchy of needs. I talk a lot about with you guys around the need for a sense of belonging. And so sometimes we have this when we're younger. Joseph Campbell talked about it in The Hero's Journey. We face at our early ages, usually in our teenage years or 20s, typically, this need to feel like a sense of belonging in order to have that survival and feel like we get along in the world. And for some of us at an early age, or maybe into our 30s, 40s, maybe for some of you 50s, 60s, maybe even, I know some of my clients in their 70s are approaching this, the belly of the beast, as Campbell says. And so sometimes we wake up to the reality of, I've been a professional marshmallow. I've conformed to the outer world. I've conformed. I've been reactionary. I've just reacted, past, react. I'm not engaging with the moment. I'm not becoming aware of how I'm being in the moment. I haven't been, there's a moment of a wake-up call. For some of us, for me, it was at the age of 8 through 16. It was like this constant, like I was hitting my head up against the world, like a glass ceiling. Get me out of here. That I don't like it. It's not for me. It doesn't fit me. I'm more expansive than that. I'm more abundant than that. And then over the years, of course, life can get in the way of us feeling like we can be who we're meant to be in our freedom state of expansion. Expansion is free, and we also learn that we need to be grounded and anchored into our body, into this reality. But the trick or hack or way into your own experience here is by not conforming like a marshmallow, just complacent to what's around you, outside of you, not reactive to what's happening in your situation, circumstance, reality, externally driven, but to decide that you want to be a professional you, and you need to work on that. That's the work. That's your life's work. That's your life's work, to be a professional you, to be, and to figure out what that is. So I look at the question not who am I, but I look at the question of what am I becoming? And I have an opportunity in every moment, as my practice over these wonderful 18 years has taught me, to ask that question. What am I becoming right now? What am I choosing to become right now? It's all about how I'm putting my focus and my attention mentally, and then how I'm deciding how I want to feel in the moment. And then my thoughts. Where do I want to line my thoughts up with that are in alignment with what I believe is true and what I want to create? And then my external reality ends up just becoming a reflection of that, a reflection of how I am choosing to be. And it is literally, it's changing in every moment. It's new in every moment. It's completely replenished in every new moment, every new moment. Does this make sense, guys? Does this make sense? So, you know, I hear the woodpecker behind me. I hear him. I hear the woodpeckers out every day here. I hear the birds. I see on this path the leaves falling. I see the, as you've seen in my videos, the centipedes and the slugs and the bugs and the beetles. I see the squirrels and the ants. And I get to decide where I am on the path. I get to decide where I am. It's up to me. I'm allowing myself to be in my own state of flow, my own state of focus, my own action, my own momentum. I get to decide where that momentum is going. I get to decide if I want to redirect on my path. I get to decide what I am accepting into my reality. I get to decide what I want it to look like. If I want to define the color blue as something completely different, I get to decide that, and it's not up to anyone else to decide that for me. We can have an agreement on certain things, but we don't have to. And so, you know, as I've realized in my practice, the need to be understood is overrated, and it's actually not possible to be understood. We can never be understood. We can only align with who we are, connect with what we want to feel, how we want to feel, how we want to think about how we feel. We can decide how we want to express ourselves and redefine how we want to become on our path in every new moment. And we can decide how we want to engage with others who are also in the same alignment or not. We can decide how that plays out for us and how we're accepting of others on our path. And the unconditional love is a huge thing. You know, I can love no matter what. I can love something, someone, no matter what it's being. I don't need it to be different in order for me to express love with it, because I know that the love is coming from me. It has nothing to do with stuff outside of me. And so I've defined, you know, the professional marshmallowism as, you know, people who are just complacent, conforming to whatever is happening outside of their reality. These are people who are exhausted, overextended, depleted, sad, depressed, anxious, very reactive, very angry, usually sick, overweight, but not necessarily, just unhealthy, tired, lethargic, not doing what they want, and also not developing a practice or a skill or crafting, artistry, working, cooking, whatever it is, right? Like, there's no skill, practice, or hobby that they're passionate about, that they just love to do. When they do it, they're just like, oh, I love doing that. So if you are a professional marshmallow, you kind of know now what's going on. Or if you know people like that, the way, of course, to help people is by being solid within yourself and connected with yourself, anchored within yourself, and present to what's unfolding, which means I'm aware of what's becoming of me, and I'm intentionally deciding to create my reality based on what I want and what I believe is true for me and what I want to experience. And so that's really the question. What do you want to experience? What do you want your moment now to feel like? And we have to be mindful of, we can't plan next year what we want to feel like. We can't plan. We can imagine when we get really old and on our way leaving our bodies, we can imagine, kind of the experience that we wish to embody around us, and, try our best to line up with that. But it's really a practice of unfolding in the moment. So we can't really decide what tomorrow is going to feel like until tomorrow is happening, right? And so we hold on to the reality outside of us so much to try to hold on to feel safe, right? And as we know, that crumbles. That reality outside of us is like a deck of cards, a house of cards, just or a marshmallow just melting. At the sight of anything that it doesn't like or that displeases it, So we have to be aware of our state of becoming and what it is that we're wanting to become in every moment, and to be aware when we are impacted or becoming influenced by something outside of us, anything at all, a person, something we see, something we hear, or a reaction from the past that contracts us, which of course is the opposite of having an open container, being able to be ready to fill up with what we want to let in. And so I ask that, if you want to have a fulfilling life and have joy and well-being and be able to also help other people along the way, and for other people to really enjoy you, and to never again have to feel worry or stress or lack of security within yourself, or lack of love, or lack of self-care, or lack of anything, to remove all lack and to step fully, to enter fully, and to become that abundance. You have to really call yourself out on the marshmallow mode, and also be aware when other people are doing it, so that you don't model or mirror them along the way, right? Because it's sometimes, we can model other people that we love to resonate, to create rapport, to connect. And so we don't want to do that. Connection happens in here. And so that's where the practice begins. All right, guys? Let me know how this resonates with you. Let me know your thoughts. Nina, mwah. Ciao.